Now the second part of this question asks to write the equation in slope-intercept form. So that goes back to what we were learning last week. And what is the y-intercept of the line? So I'll remind you, slope-intercept form is this. It was y equals mx plus b. So the key important elements of this equation are we need to know the slope and we need to know the b value, which is the y-intercept. Now in terms of this equation, the y-intercept isn't as clear to identify. And so this is why there's an advantage to writing an equation in slope point form. But what we can do is this. We do know the slope. The slope is negative 1/3. We already figured that out before. So if we write y equals negative 1/3 x plus b, we can simplify this by filling in these two unknowns, x and y, for one of these 3 points on the line. And what I'll use this point that I identified up here, 1 and 1. So the y value is 1, and the x value is also 1. And then we've simplified this equation so there's one unknown, so we can figure out the y-intercept if we do a little bit of rearranging. So if we look here, 1 is going to equal negative 1/3 multiplied by 1, which is really negative 1/3 plus b. And what we need to do to both sides of this equation is we need to add 1/3 so that this becomes 0 on the right side. And since we have to do that to the right side, we have to do it to the left side as well. So the y-intercept is going to equal 1 plus 1/3. Which, if you know this already, 1 and 1/3 is really 4/3. But if you don't know, what you would need to do to add these two numbers is they would need to have a common denominator. So if we make this 1/1, in order for these to have common denominators, we'd have to multiply both by 3. So this fraction of 1/1 would really become 3/3 plus 1/3. And 3/3 plus 1/3 is 4/3. So this is our y-intercept. So when we go to write this equation in slope-intercept form, the equation is y equals negative 1/3 x plus 4/3.